All right, test 1, 2. Y'all hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
All right, cool. Awesome. I hope you guys are plugging into all the calls. Like I need to plug into the calls. You need to plug into the calls. The product call yesterday rocked. Mosley went over the IUL, how to run an illustration. We got some good stuff going on IULs, man. Not Amanda, Victoria Reichman down in Florida. She's a 22-year-old, has been writing, she's on an IUL tear. Like how many does she got going, Jonah? You did like 4 or 5? Purely on people she knows, more market.
We did our first submitted about 3 days ago, and then she's currently in her meeting right now to write another 2 or 3.
She's brand new. She's 22. She's 22, right? I thought she was like 19.
Nope, 22.
22? Okay. And she's plugging in. She's going to Hotspot meetings. So how did we find Victoria, Jonah?
She's direct to Rohini.
And how did we find Rohini?
She was on a list of licensed agents that we texted through and called.
Totally random, right?
Yes. Absolutely random.
So it's someone who's totally randomly found Victoria, because Victoria is not a warm market to Rohini, is she?
Mm-mm.
And how did you find, so what was her manner at finding Victoria?
She was she's using Text Us and blasting out text to lists of licensed agents and handling the feed, the responses, and then putting initial interviews on my schedule, and then doing the deal.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But you know what? In this business, you make your own luck, right? You make your own luck because you're putting yourself out there to the world. You're exclaiming to the world by talking to people that you are available for good stuff to happen, right? The only way good stuff happens is you're out there looking for good stuff to happen. Like Jonah's big conference call he has on Monday with this mega big payroll company. How'd you find them, Jonah?
So Victoria, our IUL, I think we were dubbing our IUL queen of the team.
Yes.
Her mother, I was researching her mother's company, which is the Employee Benefits Enrollment Company, and I just so happened to come across this company that I'm working with, and I reached out, sent them an email, said, "Hey, got a new product we're rolling out. Want to, I see it being a potential good business partnership here." Something to that effect. Is there any way that we can set up a meeting? And we corresponded back and forth over email, and I did something right. It caught their attention, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do the meeting on Monday." So,
right,
random.
And then I have a random guy that I tried to recruit 2.5 years ago. Created a real nice relationship with him. Never really got off the ground, but then I reached out to him with this on my list of names. And he took me up with this mega company, Alight.com, which is an employee benefits company. Random. But it wasn't random. It wasn't random because we went out there and we started going out there. We started putting ourselves out there. We started making good stuff available to us when we tell the world, "Hey, look at me. Look at me. I've got this. I've got this thing," right? How many of you hide your light under a bushel? Oh, Alex, you're going spiritual on us. Spiritual. You're hiding your light under a bushel, man. Here's what's great about light is darkness will never overcome light. Light always overcomes darkness. Darkness is the absence of light. So if you're experiencing darkness in your world, is because you haven't let the light in and you haven't let the light out, right? Do you see how that works? You got to let the light out. You got to let the light shine, man. We got the opportunity. I mean, I've done videos on our opportunity with all the bubbles of all the things that we have. You know, the one I did on the TWC, you know, if you can hardly even believe what we offer. I've had people tell me, like all my HMA only agents, the ones that aren't life insurance people, they say, man, I am overwhelmed by all the resources the Alliance has. I'm thinking about getting my license again, because he had been licensed. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. He's looking at everything we have. We so take for granted. We take so for granted what we have in the Alliance, right? I got to read you a. Okay, so I have an agent that texts me. She goes, good morning, Alex. I hope you and Ginny are doing well and you all had a blessed Thanksgiving. I'm writing this morning to say that I made a huge, all caps, huge mistake leaving your company. I was recruited and quote unquote drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. I didn't know how good I had it until I was gone. I think I was too new in this business to know better. You and Ginny and your staff were really good to me. I'd like to ask you to consider giving me a second chance. Your guidance and mentorship is invaluable. Thank you for your consideration. Have a blessed day, Tanya. This isn't the Tanya that we see on our conference calls. There's another Tanya out in Alabama. And you know what? You don't know how good you have it until it's gone. So, like, how do you pretend like it's gone? I don't know. There is a tendency, isn't there, to take a lot of things for granted. You have to kind of do this mental exercise of appreciating the gifts that you have inside you and appreciate the gifts that have been given to you. Okay? So God endowed you with the gifts inside, and He's endowed you with gifts around you that you can take advantage of so you can be the best servant, be the best person, realize your dreams, realize what God had put inside you. It's like all there. You know, it's like we got to remind you. We've got to remind you how good you have it, how awesome we have it. And being in the United States of America, man, you could be you could have grew up in Ukraine, man, where things aren't so good out there. You could have grown up in Somalia. You could have grown up in so many different places in the world, but your soul got placed here in the United States of America, right? And understand the blessings that you have. You know, I think about all the stuff that eats at me, right? And there's things that I got to deal with. And I think about, I can focus on the things I got to deal with, or I can focus on the things that I'm grateful for, starting with, you know, God and what He's given me, starting with my family, starting with this awesome business, starting with all the opportunities, being grateful for you, that you're on my team, you know, being grateful for being on the Alliance team and having Andy Albright as my mentor, you know, keep thinking about all these things, and all of a sudden, all the things that eat at me don't eat at me anymore. It's like, whatever. I got it good, man. I got it good. We all have it good. Now let's turn the good into great by activating all the gifts inside you and activating all the gifts given to you by taking advantage of it, right? It's like the person who doesn't read is no better than someone who can't read. Does that make sense? The person who doesn't read is as good as someone who can't read. So, man, Take advantage of this awesome opportunity, okay? And I'll tell you what, man, let's get back to basics. The basics of the business, right? Hold on. I think sometimes we take for granted the opportunity. Okay, and I drew this out last week, but let's just take the 85% agency manager, okay, which can look like this. This is a very simple way to draw it out. Okay, this person's out of 70%. Okay, these people are at 55, 55. Okay, and so when everyone books 6, they're going to sit on 4 appointments. They're going to close 2. They're going to get another couple of ERS sales plus another couple of HMA sales, right? 6, 4, 2 plus 2 plus 2, like you drew out, okay? After all is said and done, you are going to make $187,680 in first-year income. Renewal income, the value of the next 30 years is $72,864. And then on the HMA, because it's paid as earned and it builds on the HMA at the agency manager level, your first year will be $40,186. Your second year will be $84,235. Your third year is $102,782. Your fourth year, $121,330. Fifth year is $139,877. And it goes on, okay? It goes on beyond year 5. So at the agency manager level at 85% commission rate, right? And so what does it take to go agency manager? Again, based on these people all booking 6, sitting 4, closing 2, plus 2 plus 2, you know, this leg has to do 25,000 issue paid in a month. This leg has to do 15,000 issue paid in a month. This person has to do 7,500. And then this leg has to do $1 plus, okay? $1, at least $1. Total volume, 50,000, 2 months in a row, issue paid, okay? Again, no one's full-time. Everyone's like mega part-time doing this, okay? So a 25,000 leg, 15,000, 7,500 one leg. This could be one person doing 25,000, or it could be 20 people doing 25,000, and so on and so on, right? So I just have to remind you, this is not going EVP. This is not going senior board member. This is not, it's just finding 4 legs that want to do something, right? Four legs, 4 groups of people that desire to have something more in their lives, that we open up the opportunity for them, okay? And then they plug into ERS and HMA. I mean, look at the HMA income. I mean, you hang there 5 years at this level right here. I mean, that's pretty significant money. 85%. I would draw this out every day, and I would say 25, 15, 7,500, 1. By the way, your volume also counts for this leg too. So whatever you do counts for that 25,000 credit. Is that cool? So we're just trying to push you to agency manager, you know? And so, I don't know, man. Usually, okay, so statistics, if you have about 20, say 22 unique writing agents per month, at least 22 that write at least one policy per month, you're going to do AM volume, like for sure. 22 unique writing agents per month. I know this because I've studied it for 20 years. I've seen it work like this. This is really cool. Really cool how this works out, okay? So I have to keep reminding you, reminding me that this is all it is. Now here's what's interesting. Okay, so Andy Riddle, what was it, 240 something recruits this year so far? And I think he had one power of 10. Okay. I had 100 and, I'm at like one, I got to look at the leaderboard. I'm not sure. I think I'm at like 130, 140, and I have 8 power of 10. Okay. So getting to Andy's point, man, doesn't matter how many numbers, it's getting people started, keeping people with you, getting people to encourage them and uplift them, and I need to do a better job. I'm disappointed. I should have 18. I should have 20. I should have 20, 30 people. Because, you know, the whole truth of recruiting is you got to find people. You can't make them do it, okay? There's only so much influence you personally have on somebody. Okay, it's finding the right people, finding the people that want to plug in. It's inviting them to things like a builder's call, inviting them to things like all our conference calls and hotspot meetings and encouraging people, okay? And I need to be better at that. I look at this number and I need to do better. So I look at deficiency and I look at it as an opportunity. Because you imagine if I double this number next year and quadruple how many people I can get to power 10. So I guess the point really is, man, don't put all the pressure on yourself. Put the pressure on your activity of finding people, putting yourself out there to get good things happening for you, right? Like when you, like on the HMA, if you just take every week, you email, 30 employee benefits companies a week. You just email them, say, hey, I got this new product I think might be a really good fit. We're looking to partner with some companies out there with a new program that's approved under the Affordable Care Act, and something I think your companies, your clients may find beneficial for their employees. And there's a lot of money in it. Whatever. You do 30 of those a week, every week, and what? It takes time? Yeah. Does it cost you money? No. And it's in essence what Jonah did, or it's calling them saying, hey, can I talk to you, the person in charge of your product evaluation, or whatever. Do you think that maybe good stuff's going to happen? The more pucks you have in play, the more good things are going to happen. You can get excited all the time about, out of those 30, you get 2 responders and say, hey, man, we're interested. Rock on, man. Let's do a webinar. Okay, let's get Alex to do a webinar for you and help you close it, right? One good one, man. One good one. 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 Do you know that to go EVP 110 only takes 6 good ones? Not direct to you necessarily, but maybe 12 deep from you, 10 deep, 3 deep, 5 deep. Just takes 1 good one to go EVP. 6 people that decide to go agency manager, you're going to make, I think, 1.4 million, 1.3 million, just finding 6 good people, okay? Now, it's a journey, right? I'm laying out the map and I'm showing you the journey that you're going to go from here to there. The question is, are you making the first step, right? Are you making the first step towards that journey of creating at least an agency managership, right? The first step of getting here is, who do you know that might be open-minded to what we're doing? You don't know if they're open-minded unless you ask them. So who do you know? Have you talked to your list of names of people about this opportunity, about the HMA, about anything that we're doing that might help them out? Are you doing that? I did that with the HMA. I did it when I first got in here. The reason I've made millions in this business is because I took my warm market list and I talked to them about the alliance. I talked to them about insurance. And I brought in initially about 9 people. One of them was Noel Leventovich. The other one was Patrick Connors. I've made nearly $11 million in the last 20 years with those guys. Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty crazy when I think about it, okay? So that was my warm market. Like, you've got so many things to talk to people about. Good. Start there. Start there. Then we can teach you how to go out and source people. We've got free monster resumes. Hardly anybody takes advantage of it. We can give you 50 plus resumes a week that you can text, you can dial, you can email to find if they're still looking, right? Yes, it's work. It's work. It doesn't just land in your lap. But when you, like I said, when you take that light under the bushel and light up the darkness can't overcome the light. And all kinds of good things come your way and happen and will happen for you, okay? Anyway, I look at this and I need to do that. I need to hire more people and I need to quadruple this. That's what I need to do, right? But it's all percentages. Anyway, how you get people started? Finding the right people. But it's random. But it's random on purpose. Does that make sense? Man. I don't know what other nuggets I can give you as far as building the business, but I just need to make this very plain so you know what's at stake. And if you don't start now, man, you'll never get started. How many people subscribe to the round to it philosophy? Round to it. Yeah, I'll get around to it. You've been saying that for the last 50 years of your life, and look where you are today. Yeah, I'll get around to it. Yeah, I started and stopped. That's the thing that kills people probably the most, is the starting and stopping. The starting and stopping. You never create momentum if you stop. You will kill the momentum, right? That which remains at rest tends to stay at rest. That which is in motion tends to stay in motion. And so you get all fired up, get started, you attend a boot camp, you get all fired up about the boot camp, right? We give you some knowledge and training, and then you lose your momentum because life gets in the way. You never get any leads, or you get your first set of leads, start dialing, you encounter issues. And then you kill your momentum, and then you're flat, okay? Then you get all fired up again, and you start ramping up, but then nothing gets in the way. And then you're dying. You don't, and then it's been so long that you hardly remember, and you want to go to a boot camp again, and then it's getting leads, and then you do this, and you're always at zero. And let me tell you what happens to your self-image. Okay, the actual results go back to zero, but your self-image, the self-image curves go down here. So your self-image takes a hit. Because what happens is, you reinforce everything you know about yourself that's negative. Reinforce that you never finish anything you get started for whatever reason. You reinforce the fact in your mind that all your life you've been a loser and you've never followed through. And then when you don't follow through with us, it reinforces your negative self-image, right? Oh, man. And then something inspires you again. You put some work in, okay? But then the other problem is you don't ever follow through because of lack of self-image. Your self-image takes a deeper hit. It's kind of like yo-yo dieting, right? You lose weight, and then you get off the diet, or you get off the diet, and then you gain the weight back, and then you do it again, and then you gain more weight back. You do it again, you gain more weight back. It's the same exact mentality. The self-image sucks. And then you compound your negative self-image by always starting and stopping. And you wonder, why am I here? Why can't I break out of this brokenness? I'm spiritually broke. I'm financially broke. I have no joy in my life. What the heck is wrong with me? And then you wake up one day and it's like, man, something's got to change. If something don't change, nothing's going to change, right? So this is one of those tear yourself open talks and look in the mirror, right? Look at the mirror, the things you failed. And why do you fail? It's typically the same dadgum reason every time. Seriously, it all comes down to a root thing that is the essence of why you do the yo-yo failure deal. Okay? You get all excited, and then something happens, you don't follow through. Dadgummit, man, follow through is everything. I mean, in tennis, following through, basketball following through, and life following through. When you look at the successes in your life and things that you've done well, isn't it interesting? You look back at the things you've done well, it's because you followed through. You pushed through the negative stuff, the hard stuff. You followed through. Right? Like some of y'all can be very proud at the children you've produced. And they're really good kids. They think right about the world. Well, chances are, as a parent, you probably followed through on being a parent. Okay, when you look at your children, you look at your relationship, and you have a very powerful relationship with God, and everything that happens with that probably is because you followed through and that you're praying to Him. You've got a strong prayer life, right? You have a very strong implementation of His commandments, right? You follow through on what you believe, right? Because faith without works is dead. The works part is the follow through. The faith is professing, how do you follow through when it's hard? You follow through when it's hard by taking advantage of all the things that we're giving you when it's hard. It's easy to go to a hotspot meeting when things are going great. It's hard to go to a hotspot meeting when things are going to crap, right? The follow through, man, the follow through, how you follow through all depends on how your mindset and attitude is, how you continue to follow through and doing the things that you have committed to do, right? We've given you all these tools, all the environment, right? Hotspot meetings. Look, if you're not attending your hotspot meeting, man, you're not following through, and then you're going to lose just like you've lost your entire life. Like, I'm not kidding, right? Again, there's a pattern to your failure. There's a pattern to my failure. Okay, there's a pattern. I recognize it, and I force myself. I got to go to hotspot meetings, right? I got to attend all the conference calls and webinars, right? Right? Starting with the TWC, activity call, product call, our agency calls, right? This call. Getting around the people all the time, of always thinking about the business. How can I do better? What am I doing wrong? Getting inspired by people doing great. We all need inspiration. Conference calls and webinars, right? Reading books. Reading books. Got to get into the books, man. Got to get into the books. It helps your attitude and mindset, right? Taking advantage of Alliance University, right? We've got NAA TV, all those good resources on NAA TV. We've got the Alliance Media app. You have that on your thing. Another thing about reading books, Audible. Look, maybe you just, for some reason, but get books on tape, like the Damon West book, Change Agent. You can get that on Audible, and you can listen to it. Andrew Peters has been listening to it. It's been firing him up, right? We surround you with things. Then we got the National Convention, NetCon, and Family Reunion. See what we're doing here? We're trying to trick you into being wealthy, okay? Do you see that we're trying to influence you by getting around? This is the fire. This is when you're out in cold and dark. This is the light. This is the fire. You come to the heat. You come to the light, right, to get out of the darkness in your life, to get out of the pattern of failure that you've been succumbing to your entire life until now. This is your life preserver, right? Talking to your growing up line. Try to get your mind right. When you're feeling negative thoughts, giving me a call. Giving your growing up line a call. Hey man, how you doing? Just want to talk. All right, let's talk. How you been? How's your mom and them? Talking. Negative stuff just compounds when you don't talk, when you isolate yourself. Isolation, man, that is the chief thing that people fall into, is isolating themselves from all of this, from all this rich stuff, all the relationships. Understand this is a relationship with the Alliance. You develop this relationship with us. You develop this relationship with the Alliance, with all the people that are here to help you. And it's just like what Tanya said on her message. She kind of took it all for granted until she went out into the world in something else, and she realized what she lost. Man, this is what she lost. She lost this. She lost this. Where else can you get this? And all this is, Andy Albright, man. Andy Albright cares about you, cares about me. He ain't Jesus for sure. There's only one Jesus. But he's created this system for us to take advantage of. So are you leaning on this? Are you leaning on all the opportunities made available to you? Are you getting out there and availing yourself of opportunity by going out there and getting resumes and calling people, getting out there and looking up employee benefits companies or payroll companies and kind of approaching them on the HMA, right? What are you doing? Are you dialing the phone? Are you increasing your odds of good stuff happening to you by dialing the phone? Are you booking 20 appointments a week? See, success leaves clues. When you look at the successful agents, number one, they plug into all of this. They don't compromise on this, right? Number two, they dial the phone. Okay, they book 20 appointments a week. Success leaves clues. They dial, they book 20 appointments a week. Then they go run them. Okay? And then when they're trying to build a business, they dial. They fast track people. They get them licensed and then get started. That's it. So this is our business. Very simple. They dial, book 20 appointments a week. They dial and talk to people to fast track and get them licensed, get them started, right? And then once they get them started, what do they do to get them started? They get them to do this, and they get them to do this. And then they get them to do this. You see how it's like this circular function that, this is how the momentum, this is how you build the momentum against your nature that wants to kill your momentum. This is how you keep doing a little bit every day, where the compounding effect starts getting insane because you decided not to quit. You decide not to lose momentum. You decide not to kill your momentum by your own bad decisions, right? Of letting life get in the way, letting life's priorities, right, get in the way of doing this. Yes, we all got to deal with emergencies. We got to deal with life, but you know what? It's not either or. This is both and. See, the people that are successful doing this, they all have life stuff happening to them. They all do. Some of them very tragic things, and they're still powering through to do this. So you don't have an excuse because these people are overcoming their things. I know it's easy to say, oh, they're making all this money. They're all doing all this. It's easy for them. No, it isn't. They still deal with crap. They just learn how to handle the crap and do what they're supposed to do. Okay? I mean, simple, not easy, but simple. Okay? Not easy, but simple. All right, man, I'm going to let you off the hook early. It's all out there for you, gang, if you're willing to take advantage of it, willing to do this thing, right? Overcome what's, pulling you back. You know what it is. Like, how do I know you know what it is? All I would ask you then is white sheet. Take a white sheet out and then tell me, what does someone successful in the alliance do? What do they do? Okay. And then you will probably write 90% of the things that are correct and accurate. Okay, so the question then becomes, if you know 90% of what to do, of what a successful person does in the alliance, then the question is, how do you get from where you are to that person who is that successful person that you write down all the things that they do, right? How do you narrow the gap to where you step into that person? See, right now, I'm asking you to step outside and say, okay, paint a picture of that successful person. What do they do in the alliance? Now I'm asking you, once you fill that out, now I want you to step into that person and become that person. And you know what? It's as simple as that. Like, you can make that decision just like that. You can just make that decision. And then let's go implement the game plan. Okay, all the finer details you can get with me and I can guide you through that. But, white sheet it. Pull out a white sheet, write down all the things that those successful agents do, and then step yourself into it. How do I become that person? So, rock on, man. God bless. Let's do this thing. Look, I know Christmas is coming, but it's no excuse not to work unless you can afford not to work. Some of the best appointments, some of the best production time is between Christmas and New Year's. I've said this time and again, year after year, 20 years. Some of the best productive time is between Christmas and New Year's. Don't give up. Overcome the holidays. That reminds me, I got to get you that MP3 on overcoming the holidays. I'm going to turn my ring, so I will do it. I'll get you that MP3. It's really good. Very old, like 15 years old, but it's worth listening to, I think, even in today's world. So rock on, man. God bless. Love you guys, man. I want you to overcome. I want you to overcome to become, because you all have it inside you, man. It's just take your light under a bushel and shine it. Y'all got it in you, man. God bless. Take care.